Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. In this video I want to talk about UV, which is a newish package manager for Python. It's built by the Astral team, who have built out quite a lot of other tooling in the Python ecosystem. And I want to just give an overview of how it works and how I use it and why you might like to use it as well. And yes, it is another package manager, and I know there's already pip, pipx, poetry, conda, and probably others I'm missing out there as well. But in this video, I want to focus on UV because it's just the one that I've personally been leaning to create any new Python projects that I'm working on. So the first thing you're going to want to do is obviously install UV, and you can do this with your system's package manager. So for example, on macOS I'm using brew, so I can do brew install UV, and it's probably going to tell me that I already have it and it's already installed, and that's literally it. You have UV and now you're kind of ready to start creating Python projects. So the first command you're probably going to use is UV init. And what this does is it basically bootstraps a kind of new project environment for you to start creating a Python project. So for example, if you do UV init, I'll call it tutorial project, hit enter, it's going to create a new project in the directory with this name that I've specified. So if we go into this project and I do ls-la, you can see the files that it's kind of already created here for us. So it's already initialized the Git repository, it's created a git ignore file, and there's some other files here which we'll get into in a second as well. So to run your kind of main script or the entry point into your project, you literally just do uv run. So we can do uv run main.py, which was the name of the file that it generated for us there. Hit run, and you're going to see some text here, and we finally get hello from tutorial project. And what you can see here is it's just picked up the kind of default interpreter that I have that just I think came installed with macOS, and then it's created a virtual environment at .venv. If you've ever created virtual environments yourself to try and manage Python projects, it's basically just doing this for you. So it's using the kind of default virtual environment system under the hood. It's just wrapped in a nice way with some nice commands for you to use, like with the uv run. And then if you want to add or remove packages that you want to use, you can do uv add. So if I do uv add numpy, just install numpy, uv remove numpy, I'm just going to uninstall it. And that's pretty much the basics of how you can get started running your project and installing dependencies. But obviously this doesn't seem too different from what you might do with Python anyway. So let's take a look at kind of some of those files that we mentioned previously and see what's going on there. So if I run ls-la again, you can see that this time, as well as the files that we saw there previously, there's obviously the .venv folder, which we talked about. And there's also a file called uv.log. So this pyproject.toml and this uv.log, if you're familiar with the JavaScript ecosystem, it kind of works similarly to something like this. Now, pyproject.toml isn't a UV thing, this is actually like a Python thing, and this file specifies some information about the project itself, so you can create a package more easily. And uv.log, what this contains is specific information about the dependencies you've installed. So for example, if we do again uv add numpy, and then we do cat uv.log to read what's inside of this file, we can see here it's got the name of our package and the version and some stuff about the source. But you can see that it's got a list of the dependencies here, and inside of it's got the specific version of NumPy we've used, which Python version that we've used, and like which registry it got it from, as well as some metadata. So these two files here, the pyproject.toml and the uv.log, what they essentially do is make it that so anyone who let's say you want to work on this project with someone else, and you're both using, who knows what version of Python you've got installed and your friends got installed, and what version of NumPy you've installed and what version of NumPy they've installed. How are you going to collaborate on this project? There might be conflicts, right? You both want to use the exact same Python version and the exact same kind of dependencies to make sure that the chances of some kind of error occurring is a lot lower. So these files ensure that anyone who clones your project and wants to work on it can run another command, which is uvsync. I'm not going to run it. They can run uvsync, and it will install the exact dependencies and the versions of those dependencies that were specified. So this means, no annoying compatibility errors or conflicts or anything like that. Now, along with this, if I just run UV, it should give us a list of commands here. You can also install, you can manage versions of Python here as well. So it's not just the ability to add dependencies to the project, but you see here with Python, you can manage different versions of Python. Now, I'm going to be honest, I haven't had to use this yet, or I haven't needed to use this yet because I'm mostly using UV to work on my own personal projects. But similarly, this gives you an opportunity. Well, basically, UV becomes this kind of all-in-one tool where you can manage all the different versions of Python that you need. And successfully install all of the different dependencies that you need when you're working on projects. And so this gives you a really powerful tool to work on different Python projects using different Python versions and different dependencies and stuff like that, which are probably two of the most annoying problems that people have with Python. They might want to work on a project or follow along with the tutorial, and you might even install the exact dependencies and versions of dependencies that someone has, but if you're running a different version of Python, maybe something's going to be different there. So these two things in combination make it, super easy to start new projects and work on them, and also have other people collaborate with you on your projects as well. Now, I haven't gone into probably half of the other features that UV has, but I can only speak to my own experiences and what I use it for. And for me, even just using it for a simple kind of project bootstrap instead of having to manage virtual environments myself and have a requirements.txt file and all this kind of stuff has been really great. So let me know if this video was helpful for you, if it helped you understand UV a little bit more if you haven't used it before. And you can head to their docs, if you want to learn more about it and maybe use it for some kind of more complex use cases. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, maybe subscribe, and goodbye. Thank you.